Hello again, people. I've just entered round two of this draft. Since I won my match pretty quickly, and one of the other matches took an amazingly long time to finish, I actually managed to get some scouting in this time. My opponent today has a pretty good looking red white metalcraft, it appears. I already know he has like double Embersmith and some Chrome Steeds, along with some mirrors and some life staffs and that sort of thing. Let's see. My hand here is not terribly exciting. However, knowing that his deck is very hostile to one toughness guys, I'm generally kind of tempted to keep this. I really like Tumble Magnet, and if I draw land, then I can make Contagious Nim and start attacking. And then another land, obviously, I've got the hand, which is really good. Infiltration Lens doesn't seem to be that exciting at the moment, but it could become better. And I don't really want to mulligan into, like, Plague Stinger and, not a lot else. I could be wrong. Like I say, I'm not entirely good with Infect decks yet, having almost exclusively drafted varying Metalcraft decks so far. However, this is what the comments section of Extreme Trades is for. Feel free to go down there and tell me what I should have mulliganed and how many places I misplayed, because frankly, even looking over that last game in between the rounds, I felt I probably would have done a few things differently. Not that I can remember anything offhand. Unfortunately, my opponent seems to have went away somewhere. Who knows? Maybe he's recording something as well, and he's discussing his hand. Origin Spellbomb is a card I'm a huge fan of. I really didn't want to see that Bellowing Tangleworm right now. It is a pretty beefy blocker. I'm pretty happy to see that, however. Having no black sources in play doesn't really hide that much information. I mean, let's face it, if I've made a forest and an infiltration lens, I am almost certainly poison. A furnace celebration, that is not something I had seen earlier. Oh, I really didn't want to see that. And I'm going to have to think pretty carefully about how to proceed here. Contagious Nim looks like he's probably going to die. I didn't see that many sacrifice outlets from him the game I spied upon him. I'm not really sure how to avoid getting my guys killed, because if I don't play that guy this turn, then he just keeps the Origin Spellbomb there, he plays a different creature, and then it dies then. So it feels pretty bad knowing that he's gonna reclaim his card from Furnace Celebration and make a Murph while he's at it. But I mean, leaving it just in case I can get Black Cleave killed instead. It doesn't seem like that good a deal. Either way, I think I'm coming up behind. I guess I could have just played Fume Spitter and tempted him with murdering that guy instead, which is probably a line of play worth thinking about more. This is part of the problem with me feeling like I need to not take forever while doing this. Uh, so having displayed Display Stinger, I really hope he does not have any more spell bombs. He will probably want to equip his Myrrh if he doesn't have any real flyers. If he does, then I can Fume Spitter it out of the way, which seems like a reasonable option. If I draw a land, then I probably want to play Hand of the Praetors, so my guy will be big enough to get past the Bladed Pinions 1/1. If he does other plays as well, then I'll have to stop and think about it. However, yeah, again, we have my opponent sitting around doing nothing. Aha, and he's back. So I get to tool up my guy and hope he doesn't do anything terrible to me in the meantime. Furnace Celebration, when you have enough food for it, is a real beating. I can only hope he does not. Attacking me here is quite interesting. I hope he doesn't have anything really good. Chrome Steed is pretty large. I made an Accorder Shield. Now, this is closer to what I expected. The Furnace Spellbomb, Furnace Celebration rather, is still kind of annoying. I think I want to play Hand so I can get some extra damage in rather than playing Tumble Magnet since I'm on such a healthy life total. Fume Spittering his Murder doesn't really do anything since he has enough artifacts for Metalcraft as is. And hopefully, if Hand survives a full turn, Black Cave Goblin might actually get in for some poison by virtue of being cast. The Accorder Shield does make things a little bit difficult if he decides to tool up his Chrome Steed with both equipments. However, that's where Tumble Magnet comes in and really shows off his stuff. Because I can just tap it down and swing with both my guys, and there's not a lot he can do about that. Okay, so I have a couple of options. I can straight up just cast Tumble Magnet right now and tap his guy and swing. He probably wants to block the hand with his Myrrh to stop the 3 infect counters getting on him. To prevent that, I could Fume Spitter his Myrrh, or I could move the Infiltration Lens over to the hand, which seems like the kind of thing I might want to do. It conceals the fact that I can get rid of another potential blocker with a Fume Spitter, and if he does block, sure, he only takes 2 poison counters, but drawing 2 cards is always good. So I think I'm going to move that over to the hand, tap his gigantic monster with the Tumble Magnet. Hope he does not have Galvanic Blast, because that would be really embarrassing. But if it's the sort of thing, if he has it, then he I feel like he probably would have cast it already, rather than allow me to untap with, you know, potential untamed mites or withstand deaths. And I drew a land, which is nice, and a clasp. So I now have multiple removal spells, and he just straight up conceded, which is pretty surprising because I don't really think he was really dead right there. Sure, he was in a pretty tough spot, which wasn't wasn't actually unbeatable, to be honest. He could have easily drawn a couple of his arrests or such. I did spot him conceding really early in the first round he played, so maybe that's just his thing, which is it's never really something I want to do. I always like to play until I can literally never win. Uh, you never know when your opponent might screw up and give you an out, which you otherwise might not have had. From what I can now, Viridian Revel is an interesting card against Furnace Celebration decks. It sort of lets you draw back up on cards. I feel like Blackcleave Goblin is easily the worst card in my deck at the moment. However, I don't want to reduce my number of poison guys too much, so I'm thinking very carefully about this. It feels like there are very few times when I'm going to be able to cast this profitably. He might get in for 2 poison, maybe, but I already know he's got a bunch of Embersmiths. He has a bunch of 1/1s that you can just leave hanging around. And Viridian Revel, his deck is full of artifacts that die, whether they are the spell bombs or whatever. He does have some replicas as well. So I'm going to give it a try. If nothing else, I'm going to show you guys what it's like to play a Viridian Revel. So hopefully it will turn out alright and not embarrass me by playing such an otherwise never utilised card.